I'm starting the happy hour sola porque mi hermana está por allá hablando, jangueando, gozando, disfrutando. Ahí, por ahí anda Raúl también, que es el dueño de Gran Morelo. Yo estoy aquí tomándome mi cafecito. ¿Eh? Si ustedes ven behind me, tú puedes ver a mi hermana. I'm, I'm attracting her to come to me. She's coming.
Hello.
She has arrived. Yo tengo el pelo bien escandaloso. Yo como que tengo el pelo bien escandaloso. So, aquí estamos en Nueva York, un verano en Nueva York.
Un verano en Nueva York.
Y está bien calientito.
Mira, está tan spicy que on my walk here había una pompa abierta and I crossed the street and I stood in the side just to get the little light splashes porque tenía un clase de calor because I was on my way here. I couldn't get soaked, but and then all the guys in the front were looking at me like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm just trying to get just a little something."
Como un perrito.
Ajá.
Anyway, mi gente, si ustedes están disfrutando este verano, remember to hydrate because a veces uno empuja el cuerpo demasiado and then you regret it or that we take for granted that we're going to find a store. And this heat in New York City está un poquito demasiado, pero queríamos saludarte. Aquí las hermanas Pérez todavía estamos haciendo nuestro happy hour and we are enjoying that.
No se olviden su botellita de agua cuando salgan de las casas. Y, a mí siempre me gusta pensar en estos días to walk low and slow. Low and slow, bien despacito.
Low and slow.
Yeah, I kind of always think like the way whenever you put like, un pernil en el horno que you want it to cook low and slow so it could be perfect. And so I'm like, when I come out on these hot days, I say to myself, I have to be very slow and very tender so that I don't overdo it. Because aquí en Nueva York nos acostumbramos a vivir la vida así. We're always running para aquí, para acá. It's the style of this city, right? The rhythm. Pero en días así, it could be so extra draining. Te saca tanto.
It is extra draining.
Yeah.
And then vamos a como estamos hablando de el calentito. Tú sabes otro bochinche que hay por ahí que what's happening with the sun, right? For many years, people have been saying that the sun seems to be a little hotter and get hotter and hotter and hotter. Y si yo te digo la verdad, I have plants that are supposed to be direct sunlight plants. They don't love this. I have to move them away from the sun. I actually have to not have even indirect sun. If there's sunlight even coming through the window, bendito, el otro día, some of their little tips were burnt off. Isn't that a little puzzling? And then I saw some reports on the internet of like sunflowers not facing towards the sun. Bendito. And then of course there's all these anomalies with the weather and
also
and confused animals and birds that don't know or are showing up in different places. And then there's another video. I have to check this one out. Apparently, sometimes the seasons and the way the shifting of the universe, it really is affecting the animals. And I just have to say, in my intuition, I think that we should be really paying more attention at how natural wildlife and around the birds around us are moving, because if all of a sudden they're like ahuyi kripin pelodin, I'm not gonna question that. I'm going to run.
As a matter of fact, I want to tell you this little story. When I was raising my children, I would always say to them, initially they used to think it was bizarre, but I would always say to them, whenever whenever you get older and you're on your own and you're anywhere in the world, living life, Always pay attention to nature and the animals because they will always communicate things to you that you may not be tapped into because again we're always caught up in our heads, siempre estamos on the go. And I specifically would always say to them that same example. For example, if you happen to be somewhere and all of a sudden you see every bird around you head one direction all at once for no apparent reason, trust and believe there's a reason. You may want to follow suit along with them. Do not take those things for granted. I would always share that with my children. And who knows, maybe I was preparing them for what we are living today because, to your point, there is a lot of strange anomalies worldwide happening with animals. And I feel like there's enough of it happening that it's letting us know there's a shifting happening. What type of shift exactly, to what levels, and why, we may not have those answers. Maybe we do, maybe we do not. I mean, I don't. But I believe that we can, if we really kind of step back and observe, there's enough happening to let you know there is something shifting. And we need to start being very precautious and we need to start paying attention. So you make an excellent point to bring that up. You know, this is not woo-woo stuff. This is not about fear mongering either. But there's a reason why we're all connected, right? You know, there's a reason why energetically we're connected to the animals and nature. Like it's like a web and flow, right? It's like we're all a part of the same ecosystem. So when something within the ecosystem begins to shift, it does affect everything. And so it is important that, you know, even if we feel like we're higher on the food chain, that we don't take it for granted.
Excellent points. There's so many things that I would like to add, and I don't know quite where to go with, from here because, um, well, keeping it with on topic